Okay, I'm going to share something here. I'm not sure if you can see it. Top left up here it says eSword. This is a Bible software that I use, which is a real time saver. And I'll show you here in a minute why I use it. Basically it has all the books of the Bible over here on the left: Genesis, Exodus, Deuteronomy. It goes down in order like this. You can see all these Bible books. Let's say if I want to go to Genesis, I pop that right there, whatever, chapter 14, and I go, and now it's all over here. In the ESV Bible is what I typically use because most people understand it. I could also go to the ASV, and it gives me the same. The Geneva, which is a really interesting book. The Jewish Publication Society Bible. Got the King James with the concordance. Here's a good one, Young's Literal Translation. I don't own that. I'm gonna buy one of those. But yeah, all these Bibles are on this, and these were free. You can do a comparison of all the Bibles on your list. All these here, you got the ASV, ESV, Geneva, JPS, and you'll see how they can vary at times. Then they'll do a little parallel thing here. I use this. First, when you go to this site, this eSword, it's free, but you leave the guy a couple of bucks. I PayPal'd him like a few dollars. I got one for my mom as well because it's really a great service. And it's not. It's software for your computer. You don't have to be online to do this. You do need to be online to go and download these free Bibles. Now, there are some other Bible versions on this site that you have to pay for, but all your basics are here. Now, where I typically use this, let me go back over here to the ESV. Is I'll do something like let me go to the Gospel of John here. There it is. I'm going to go to the Gospel of John. I'm looking for the parable of the sower. But then again, that might be in Matthew. Well, okay, I can't remember offhand where it is, so I'm going to go up here to Bible, go into search, and I'm going to put up sower. Parable of the sower. I'm going to look in the ESV. Over here it's going to say Bible. I can narrow this down to just the New Testament, which is what I'm going to do. I don't know if you can see it. Boom, New Testament. Search. And it says, many things parallel say a sower went out to sow. So I got it Matthew. Here then the parable of the sower, Matthew 13. So I'm going to use the one out of, let's see, I'm going to use the one out of Matthew. I think the story is told twice. I should know that. Right here, Matthew 13:8. Double click that, put this little screen down. It's going to take me right to it. Now I have the whole chapter up here. So I can sit here and hear then the parable of the sower. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom and does not understand it. Let me see here. It gives me it in the full context here. And I can move through this. Let me see here. Computer's slow today. Okay, so what I'll do is I can do word searches, or I can remember a word, like maybe someone said something about grain or the seed or the lamb. I can go up here into Bible search, put in the word, and it will tell me, it'll give me every reference where it is in my Bible, whichever Bible I'm using there, and it's fast. And then I can go through, hey, is it this one, is it that one? Another one is some people will just use there's verses using the word the sword that are sometimes can be disputed, but anyhow, wherever sword came up in this particular ESV Bible, it's going to show me that. Now, what it'll do is, as you read the Bible, you'll find there are certain idioms, or certain phrases, certain words that come up book after book. And even though these books were written over a long period of time, now some people say, well, that was just kind of set up that way or whatever. But you'll find like the labor pains, men and women having these labor pains. Let's just put this in, labor pains. This is just one. It says there is peace and security, and then sudden destruction will come upon them as labor pains. Let's narrow that down a little bit more. That's New Testament. I'm going to go to I'll go to the entire Bible. I'm just going to put in labor and see what comes up, because I know there are more. Let's see here. Okay, now I have 86 verses where the word labor comes up. It could be labor as far as work, or labor pains as far as a woman giving birth. And you'll see you'll see these phrases, idioms I call them, or certain references that will come up again and again. And I'm always tying those to prophecy. In other words, there's a reason that something is said in the book of Joel that sounds like something that came up in Philippians or Ephesians. And there's a reason something in Luke comes up that sounds like something out of Micah or Zephaniah. And until you can tie those together, you can start seeing themes coming about. And you can see where these books start they start referencing each other, and there's a reason for that. That's some prophecy that comes through this thing. And so I'm not going to go too heavy into that. I'll do that in a different video, because that is very interesting. It can be very manipulated, but it's also extremely interesting. But the reason I'm doing this little bit here is I want to show you this Bible software. It is free, although I suggest you give the guy a couple of bucks for it. It's definitely worth it. It's a huge time saver. It's called eSword. I'll put the link down below where you would find it. And there's loads of stuff in here. You've got... like I said, Bibles, and like I said, I'll use the Bible search. Commentary I'm not too big on. I just don't use it. You got your dictionary. I've got the very old. There's the Strong Concordance, and there's also I have the very old Webster, the original Webster dictionary on here, which is pretty useful. You can see how the words we use today do not have the same definition they had then. But all sorts of tools. And you can change this thing up however you use it. Like I said, I use maybe 10% of this thing, which is plenty for me. But it's got all sorts of just time savers. Like I said, okay, the book of Habakkuk. I can go right over here, bring that up. What chapter do I want? 1, 2, or 3. Blah, blah, blah. I've got something there. When you see me put a verses on the in a video, okay, I'm going to go to the book of Romans, chapter 12. Oh, there it is. And I'll just, cut and paste out of here. Boom, and I'll put that on the video. Even in comments. I've had people say, well, gee, you're pretty quick with that. Well, I got it all right here. If I had to dig it out of the book and type it, it'd take forever. And half the time I couldn't find it. I know there are certain words that tie to certain things in the Bible. I can't always remember where they are. So this is just a huge time saver. But yeah, it's called eSword. I'll put the link down below. Check it out. If you are a Bible reader and someone that wants to go a little bit deeper and tie things together, you cannot be. I mean, there might be other softwares out there, but this, like I said, this works easily. It's fast. It's got more tools on here than you'll ever use, and it's been a real plus, real time saver for me. And hopefully this is of use. Love you.